Hello everyone. Today in this video I am going to explain you about the budget module in finance. To know about the budget module, we should know what is this budget module. Basically, the budget module will be used by the finance department. The budget module is a powerful planning and reporting tool for any organization to use when creating budgets for any time frame, including multiple fiscal years. So you can give this budget for respective years. In a simple definition, a budget is a plan you write down to decide how you will spend your money each month. A budget helps you make sure you will have enough money every month. Without a budget, you might run out of money before your next paycheck. A budget shows you how much money you make. And what is the main purpose of a budget? At the most basic level, a budget is a way to keep track of the money you are getting and the money you are spending. A budget is a great way to make sure that you can cover your expenses from month to month. Now, how to prepare this budget in a simple steps? There are 6 steps. First, you need to calculate your net income. The foundation of an effective budget is your net income. Net income means your profit and loss. Track your spending. The second step will be track your spending and set your realistic goals. Based on your spending, what is the goal you want to achieve? And the fourth step is make a plan to achieve that goals. Now you have to adjust your spending to stay on budget. Every month you need to review your budget regularly. This is how the budget to be prepared. Now in Focus-ERP, I will show you how to define a budget, how to pre-committed the budget, how to committed the budget, and how to spend the money on the committed budget. So let me log in into Focus, and for that there are some settings which I will just show you. You need to create a budget field in the item master. In case if you are having a multiple cost centers, you need to tag the cost center. Okay, let me log in into Focus now. I am using SU credentials here. I am going with a quick search. I am going to the item master. In the my item master, I have 2 groups. One is traveling expenses and one is printing and stationery. Okay, first I need to create a field called budget. Now how to create that field? Click on this arrow, click on customized master. When you click on customized master, you will have the header fields here. Now in the header fields you have a add button. Click on header details, you have add button. Click on add button and add this budget account. And this budget account you need to tag to a account master. So I have tagged to account master to link. After this you have to set the properties. These properties should be copy from parent and mass update. Now when you set these properties, if you have any accounts in this particular group, when you click on mass update, automatically that selected account will be tagged to the item. Okay, let me show you that what account is tagged here for the traveling expenses. Now I have tagged the traveling expenses account here. Okay, this is how you have to tag the accounts. I'm showing the printing also. You can directly give it to the group. See, I have tagged the printing and stationery account. Once this is tagged, now you have to create an item, and once you create the item, automatically whatever account you have tagged, that will be copied from the parent. After this, if you want to do a mass update, here you have to select the budget account. When you click on mass update, click on budget account, and then here you have to select printing and stationery and then say replace, and click on update the selected rows. When you click this, the mass update will happen here. Okay, now whenever you create the formula field called budget account, now there is one formula stored for that particular field. Now you can see the below screenshot here. I have created a budget account. For that, the variable is MPF 2059. So this variable you have to note it separately and keep it, so that you can define this particular formula in your screens. Let me show you that. After this, there are some preferences settings which you need to do for budgets. Now what are those preferences settings? In configure transactions, let me go to the configure transactions. Click on settings, configure transactions. Now in the configure transactions, left hand side you have budgets component. Click on the budgets component. Okay, now before that, you see in the accounts component, your before the accounts component you have tags. Now your accounting is tagged to the cost center. Okay, if it is tagged to the cost center, then you can define the cost center wise budgets. If you don't want cost center wise, you can define the budgets overall cost centers. Now here you have to select by account and by tag. Here you have to select the tag as cost center. Now you have to click this option called check budgets in data entry. Now how are you fixing your budgets? Is it quarterly, monthly or annually? Here I am checking as annually. Now what will happen when my budget is exceeded at the time of my inputs? I can tell my application to stop the transaction, and then if you want to give a authorization whenever you are defining a budget, if you want to give a authorization, what information you want to send to the respective user, here I am giving as summary. Once this is done, you need to save this, you need to update this. When you click on update, you will get a message called data saved successfully. After this, you click on close. Once this is done, the next step would be you need to define a budget. How to define a budget? You have a menu component called financials, budget and define budget. Let me go there. You have financials, budget, define budget. Now how to define a budget here? You need to give what is your plan name. Here I have selected as my plan name is 2024 and 25. Okay, now when this budget is valid, I am giving a date from April 2024 and my valid date will be 31/3/2025. Here I will select budget type by account and by value, and I will select the cost center and what is my account. Okay, so for which account you are giving a budget? I am giving 2 lakhs for printing and stationery and another account for traveling expenses as 5 lakhs. Okay, before defining this budget, this status will be empty. Let me show you in my document. See, before defining my plan name, these all fields will be empty. After defining, when you save, now after saving, the status will show as pending. Now how to confirm this? There are two ways of confirming this budget. You can give a authorization for this definition, so that this defined budget will go to a respective user. The user will see the values what you have defined for each account, and he will confirm. In case if you don't have authorization, you have a confirm button on the header. Let me show you that. You have a confirm button. Click on this confirm button, so the status will change from pending to authorized. Okay, once that is done, you can save it. After saving, you cannot change the budget values. If you want to change the budget values before saving, you have to change it. In case if you want to change after saving, there we have reduce budget and add budget. We have separate menu components for that. Using those menu components, you can decrease the budget and you can increase the budget. Once this is saved, the next step would be you have to define a workflow for which the budget should be checked. Here I am giving one example of purchases. Okay, my purchase workflow would be PO versus material receipt note and material receipt note versus purchase voucher. Here the PO is treated as pre-committed budget, and the material receipt note is treated as committed budget. Whenever you book the purchase voucher, it is treated as spent budget. Now in the real scenario, I will show you how this will work. Once you have defined the workflow, let me show you the workflow. Here I have a purchase workflow. Here I have a local purchase order, material receipt note and local purchase vouchers. Okay, once this workflow is defined, you have to give the link value as quantity and vendor account and item. Link value would be quantity. My key fields would be my vendor account and my item. Okay, after this you have to save. Even for material receipt note, you have to give the same. Once this workflow is defined, then you need to go to the purchase order screen. Let me go to the local purchase order. Let me go to the purchase order settings. Click on settings. You have to make sure the cost center should be there in the purchase order, because we have defined the budget as a cost center level. Click on miscellaneous. Here you have to tick this do not restrict account one type. After this, you have to click on select account in every line. This option you need to tick it. Here you have an option called check budget. Here you have to select as pre-committed. Once this is done, you can save this voucher. After this voucher is saved, make sure if there are any views, please refresh the views and then update it. Let me update this and close. So like this you have to do in all the screens, like purchase order, material receipt note and purchase voucher. Let me go to the material receipt note. I am going to the material receipt note. Here I am going to the settings again. I have defined the cost center in the header. Click on miscellaneous tab. Here again in the check budget, I have defined as committed because this is my second document. Again here select account in every line, I have ticked it. Once this is done, you click on update and close. The next voucher would be your purchase voucher, local purchase voucher. Again I am going to the settings. click on miscellaneous. Now here you can see here I have ticked on do not restrict on account type 1 and account type 2. Here in check budget I am not giving anything. Okay, I am not giving anything. For the spent you don't need to give anything, just give it as none and then update FA and then update. Okay, once these settings are done, now I will show you how we can work on the budget module. Let me go to the local purchase order. I have a local purchase order here. I will click on new. Now from the info bar, when I click on info bar settings, okay, here I have a info panel. In the info panel I have budget information. Click on these settings. You can see what is the variables defined here. Okay, so whatever the variables you want, you can keep it. If you don't want, you can delete those variables. In case if you don't want written budget to be displayed, I can click on delete. If you don't want balance budget, I can click on delete. If you want spent budget, you just keep it. So I'll just keep it everything right now. After this, click on settings. Here you need to give whether this local purchase order settings to be given to which user. Okay, I can even give it as a user or I can give it on a role. So I am giving for a user or I can give it on a role. I am giving it as a user. Here I am giving the filter on account 1 and then filter on cost center. Here when that budget to be refreshed, I am just giving refresh when I select the purchase account, which is my account 1. So like this I have to select then and save. Once this is saved, what you can do is you just click on this budget info, drag and drop here. So what happens, you will get the info panel here and you can maximize this and save. Once saved, now I will show you how the budget will appear here. I am selecting the vendor account, selecting the cost center. I am selecting the item. Now I have given the item for printing and stationery, so I am selecting A4 paper, which falls under printing and stationery group. Now you see here automatically the account has populated. So let me give the budget here. Now let me give quantity as 1 and I'll give 2,10,000 and I'll try to save this voucher. Now you see I got an error. This row is making budget negative. That means I cannot save this voucher. So what I'll do is I'll just give my rate as 1,50,000. After this I'll give my tax percentages, tax values and then save. Now let me go to the previous voucher and show you the info panel. Now here I should get the budget information. When I'll get the budget information, as and when I go to my account 1, I'll get the budget information. Now you see, as soon as I go to the purchase account, I got the budget information here. Here I am getting my budget is 2 lakhs and my pre-committed is 177 including taxes. So I am left with balance budget is only 23,000. So like this my budget values will be displayed. Now when I will get the committed budget, if I make my MRN, I will get the committed budget. Okay, once MRN is made, the MRN is linked to the purchase voucher. When I do the purchase voucher, then I will get the spent budget. Okay, if you want the written budget, then you can map the purchase written voucher here. So like this, all the budget information will be displayed. This is how we can implement the budget module. Hope I have answered all your queries here. If you want to see the MRN, I can just put the MRN and show you. I am going to material receipt note. I'll click on pending purchase order. Okay, I've selected this. Let me select the cost center. You can map this account. You no need to select this. Here it is not showing printing and stationery, so I'll just change my settings in the account one. See here, do not restrict in account type. I can do this. In case if you want to map that, what you can do is you can go to the design workflow. I'll go to the purchase workflow. I'll just click on the link between PO and MRN. I'll go to the map fields. Here I don't have my account 2. See here, I have my purchase account to purchase account. I just mapped this so that my printing and stationery already mapped. Okay, I'll just save this. Let me log out and log in. Okay, I'll go to the material receipt note again. Go to the pending purchase orders. Now you see my printing and stationery has come. Now you see here in the info bar, I don't have my budget information. Okay, let me save this using my cost center. Okay, and I'll just save. Okay, I'll go to the previous voucher. I'll click on settings. Here I'll go to the info panel. Here I'll go to the settings again. Here I can keep whatever the variables I want. Okay, I don't want any written budget here, so I'll just remove this just to show you, and I'll save this. After saving, I'll just drag this and drop here. Then I can drag this. I can drag this like this. I'll just save this. After saving, now here in the budget info, I have to click on my settings, and I want to know when this budget has to refresh on my account 1. We have to give the settings what we have given in the purchase order. Let me go and show you the purchase order settings. So here we have given settings for account 1 and then cost center, and then here refresh on account 1. So let me select the cost center in the MRN also. I'll go to material receipt note. I'll go to the existing voucher, click on settings, info panel, click on my budget settings. Okay, account 1, and then I have to give on a cost center. Okay, then save. Okay, after this, close it and re-log in once after those settings are done. So once this is done, you can see the budget information in the material receipt note also. Let me drag and drop again. Now you see here, now I got in the committed budget. So now in the pre-committed budget it has become 0, because now in the committed budget it is showing 150. Okay, now here I have a balance budget also here. Like this you can configure the budget info panel. Hope I have answered all your queries for the budget module. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, please subscribe and share. Please give a like. Thank you.